that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
That House Republicans last fall passed strong earmark reform idea. The fourth earmark reform idea.
The only one who's changed is me. I've become bitter, and let's face it, crazy over the years. And once I'm swept into office, I'll sell our children's organs to zoos for meat, and I'll go into people's houses at night and wreck up the place.
So many great presidential speeches over the years. What's up, everyone? Thank you for watching a Mon2 Motors video. Today we're going to be talking about the Nissan President. The Nissan President was developed in 1965 and was mainly used by corporate executives and government officials. It was a luxury sedan specifically aimed for the Japanese market, where its main competitor was the Toyota Century. To us in the American market, we would recognize the President as the Infiniti Q45, as they share the same underpinnings and drivetrain. The original Nissan President ran from 1965 all the way until 1989. It's a very long production span for one model. The next one, the main one we want to focus on here, the HG50, it was developed in 1989 and had a shorter lifespan of only 12 years. The only powertrain option for the President was the VH45DE. It's a 4.5 liter V8 and a 4-speed automatic. At the time of the second generation President, the other competitors on the market were the Lexus LS and the Honda Legend. There was no real entry-level trim for the President, being that it was a high-end luxury car. But it did have a couple of different trims based on the wheelbase. So first of all, the short wheelbase was marketed as the President JS. And the tuning company Autech actually developed one called the Royal Limousine that utilized the same platform with a split passenger compartment. Later on, the President was revived with the Sovereign nameplate, which was essentially a long wheelbase option, more of like a limo. So seeing the President up close and personal was kind of interesting the first time around. It doesn't really strike you as a Nissan. It could easily be mistaken as a Bentley or even a Rolls-Royce. But whereas the British cars were hand-built cars, so everything was very expensive to make and also maintain and repair, the Nissan was more of a factory-built car that had very good reliability and was much more cost-effective to repair. The second generation President also had an interesting world-first feature. It was an airbag for the left-hand side, or the passenger side in this car, so the safety of this car was much higher than a lot of other competitor cars. I find it interesting that the Nissan President has so many unique luxury features that you don't really find in cars of this era. So like, there's a television in the back. Doesn't really get a lot of good channels, but still the fact that it was offered with one and that it works is really cool. In fact, the only thing this car is really missing is bulletproofing, little American flags up front, and perhaps a built-in computer.
Hey kid, I'm a computer.
What was that? Oh right, my mistake, how could I forget that? The rear seat in the President actually moves forward and back, so you can give yourself a little bit more leg room, or even recline it slightly to make your ride more comfortable. And if you're sitting behind the passenger seat, you can also control the front seat, whether there's somebody in there or not. You can slide the seat forward to give you more leg room, or if you want to mess with the person in the passenger seat, you can just fold them up in the seat. But there's good news, driver. Nobody can mess with your seat but you. So we hope you enjoyed our video on the Nissan President. And we hope you learned a lot about something that really isn't well known here, but is actually a pretty big deal over in Japan. If you're interested in purchasing one of these, you can check us out at mon2motors.com. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.
is insane power.
I would definitely recommend Monty Motors.
And I would definitely go through Monty Motors again and again.
Registration, insurance, all that stuff, but at the end of the day, they took care of every fear you could possibly have. They'll be able to answer it right on the spot.
That was a ridiculously simple process for getting a JDM car.
I couldn't be happier with my purchase from Monty Motors.